Alright, ladies and gentlemen, it is once again time for wound care. Doctor says need to do this at least twice a day now. That really annoys me, but it is what it is. For those of you uninitiated, this is a wet to dry bandage. And I was injured and it got infected. The doctor had to cut my thumb open. Alright? So now I have to do this wet to dry bandage, which is a process that apparently has been around since the Civil War. I submerge the wound for 10 minutes. I place a wet bandage on it, or a wet dressing on it. Cover that in a dry dressing, or put a wet dressing on it, cover that in a dry bandage, and the bandage dries to the wound and soaks up infection and scar tissue and whatever have you. I am also instructed to wash this in the shower, which is why I'm not currently wearing a bandage. Alright, so just soak this for 10 minutes. That's going. The wound is completely submerged, and now I have some things to do here. Like take my blood sugar. I'm a diabetic. But an interesting thing happened is that when I was in the hospital, apparently I missed my water bill. And, you know, I got a notice today, or yesterday now, that my water had been shut off, and then I needed to pay the bill immediately. This resulted in me going online, paying the bill immediately, and getting my water turned back on very quickly. I would say I was not without water for more than 8 hours. I don't know what time they shut it off. I was asleep, but they did, you know. And I have to say that on the one hand, you know, my neighbor didn't have his water shut off recently until the bill was several months old. 4 months, they told me. He has mental problems, and I'm assisting him in getting his water turned back on, which is far more complicated than one would assume. But, yeah. So, for those of you that don't know, this is a blood sugar monitor. I have a test strip in there, and it's reading a blood drop. This is a lancet. There is a needle in here that will pierce my skin. And that didn't actually touch my skin. No, I've got it on the deepest setting. Ah, got me that time. There we go. Okay. Wow. My blood sugar is high. 258. Well, I haven't been fasting and I don't actually need to take my blood sugar right now. But it makes sense that it's high. Alright. So now I need to take my insulin. But as I say, I'm at once happy that a man didn't have to physically come out to my house to turn my water back on, nor apparently come out here. Oh, somebody came out here physically to deliver a note telling me my water was shut off. I am clearing the air from these needles by firing 2 units of insulin through them. Okay. Loaded and ready. They reset every time you fire them. Loaded and ready. So yeah, I think the difference is that I have a digital meter and my neighbor does not. We have the same water company, but they upgrade the meters slowly. This has to stay in my flesh for 10 seconds. There we go. So yeah, on the one hand, I'm really glad it didn't take several days for my water to be restored. The other hand, I'm a little annoyed that it was so easy for them to shut it off. But overall, I'm much happier that my water can be turned on and off so easily because, maybe next time I'll forget longer. The possibility of my water being shut off for a full day, much scarier to me than my water being shut off because I didn't pay for a month, And yeah, I'm depressed. It's easy for me to forget things like that, particularly, the bill comes, I check my mail right before leaving the house for work, not when I get home. So I get the bill before work. I forget about it by the time I get home, and I don't deal with it. So yeah, that's a problem for me. And I think that my water company didn't even have my email address, so that they couldn't email me and say, hey, dude, where's our money? So yeah, overall, I'm a lot happier that there's a digital way for them to turn my water on and off, and that they can communicate with me much faster, so that this is a problem that can be dealt with easily. Look, I used to live with my brother, and when he moved out, he had the water shut off because he paid the bill. I got a notice. I was literally standing out there when the guy showed up and said, yeah, we're going to shut off your water down. And I called the company and I stopped them from shutting my water off. But, well, maybe now they would have just shut it off. and I would have gotten nothing but a notice. But I am happy to know my water wouldn't have been off for any significant length of time. I'm able to shower for work. That's all I care about. To be completely honest with you, if I had worked today or yesterday, the day my water was shut off, I would have showered for work before it was shut off. It would have been shut off after I went home or after I came home. I'd have discovered it off when I came home, and I would have paid it then. And it probably would have been turned back on before I had to go back to work the next day. Probably. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But in all reality, well, if I had to, I could have showered at work. There is a shower there. It's not something that's encouraged, but it is a thing. Anyway, our digital world is making things better. I like that. I like a world where my basic commodities are protected. I mean, spending a few hours without water really made my life hard. But then I know a guy who hasn't had water for months. He's not going to have water anytime soon because there's damage to his pipes, and that needs to be taken care of. What does one do? There we go, 10 minutes. Okay. Now, incidentally, I don't have to clean this as much because I know I have to change this bandage again before I leave for work. I'm trying to shower every 12 hours because I'm having something of a, I wouldn't call it a hygiene issue, but my immune system is weak and I have to keep my skin a little cleaner than I normally would. So I'm going to use this big bandage and I'm going to use the whole thing. And again, I am bandaging the hand as well as the thumb. This big thick bandage is going to keep any bacteria from getting into the thumb, but the bandage around the hand is going to prevent this from slipping off easily. So yeah, it looks a lot worse than it is. And this is a tuck bandage as opposed to, I'm not going to use the tape today, but there we are. Nice, big. Can really look for some cars with that, you know? It's just hitchhike. Anyway, thank you for sharing this moment with me. I'm Richard.
Danger Ducky spots you. Try to leave without leaving a comment. That's just not right. Don't forget that like button and share this with all of your friends.